Yay.
That takes us very quickly to planning. Be it resolved that the planning committee meeting minutes for August 11th, 2026 be adopted. Mover.
Don.
Second.
Brian.
Attached for your review. Anything there we should note?
I don't think so. The disappointing thing where the provincial government is offloading more and more expenses to us, but other than that.
Any other thoughts?
I echo his comment.
Thank you. All in favor?
Yay.
Carried. Moving then into the annexation agreement resolution, there's a number of whereases that you've had a chance to read. Therefore, be it resolved that council approve the annexation proposal for approximately 143.29 acres of land located in Southwest 22-3-4 West Prime Meridian, and authorize administration to submit the annexation application and supporting documentation to Manitoba Municipal Relations for consideration under the Municipal Act. Mover.
Marvin.
Andrew got it. Marvin got the second. You were very close that time, Marvin. For explanation, this is the annexation for our wastewater site to make sure that that flows into our area. Is that correct, Jody?
Yeah, and we had earlier, about 6 years ago, done an annexation of what was our existing wastewater site at that time. Then we, subsequent to that, purchased another 113-acre parcel, and then again another almost 30-acre parcel, which was the former Green Opportunities land. The reason that it says approximate number of acres there is because we also have to update the maps a little bit to include the road from the PTH 432 there, or 428, I should say, up until the end of our wastewater, as that portion of the road we will be taking over ownership and maintenance of.
Okay. Thank you, Jody. Any other thoughts or concerns? All in favor?
Yay.
And that is carried. That takes us to delegations and public hearings. Be it resolved that this regular meeting of council recess for the purpose of holding public hearings. Mover?
Brian.
Second.
Michael.
All in favor?
Yay.
Is carried. Jody, if you don't mind helping us through the process for public hearings.
Indeed. For all of our public hearings, we ask that if anybody present would like to speak to the matter, that they come up to the podium and state your name, and then you can speak to the matter. We do have a microphone there, and we want people who are streaming the meetings will also be able to hear everything that's happening.
Thank you, Jody. That takes us to the combined public hearing for annexation for conditional use application number CU 2026-004 and variance application number BA 2026-006 for 405 First Street. Jody, if you would introduce this for us.
Sure. So first of all, the conditional use is to allow the construction here for an eating and drinking establishment and to allow multiple principal buildings and uses on one lot, which is therefore defined as a planned unit development. And so that is the conditional use. The variance application was for reducing the minimum site width from the required 100 feet to 82 feet, and then to allow off-site parking. Just, it might not seem like it is off-site, but it's because there are multiple lots there that are not consolidated. However, today at 3 o'clock, the applicant gave us an updated drawing showing new additional parking to the east of the new building, which satisfies the parking requirements. So this variance application has been reduced to only the request for the site width variance.
Okay, thank you, Jody.
And no objections received by our office.
Excellent. Is there anybody here wishing to speak to this? I don't see anybody in chambers. We've heard nothing, as Jody has already said, as a concern. Council, your thoughts? You see our staff's report to council there.
Yeah, there was a building there before that was demolished, and this is pretty much replacing what was there.
Mhm.
So, yeah, I wouldn't have any concerns about it.
Okay. On that note then, be it resolved that the combined public hearing for conditional use application number CU 2026-004 and variance application number VA 2026-006 be closed. Mover.
Peter?
Second.
Michael?
All in favor?
Yay.
Carried. Be it resolved that council approve conditional use number CU 2026-006, subject to a development permit approval, city approval of an engineered lot grading and drainage plan, and a development agreement. Mover.
Ryan.
Second.
Don.
Don, thank you. Final comments? All in favor?
Yay.
Carried.
Mr. Mayor, I'll ask to be excused based on a
I'll let you,
perceived conflict of interest.
I'll let you skip out as soon as we finish the variance on.
Oh, yeah, sorry.
No problem. Be it resolved that council approve variation number VA 2026-006, subject to a development agreement. Mover.
Don.
Second.
Michael?
Final thoughts? All in favor?
Yay.
Carried.
When did we do the conditional
Okay,
use?
please excuse me for a perceived conflict of interest.
Thank you very much.
Hey, we
Well-
did do the conditional use as well, right?
Yep.
Okay,
Yes. Yep.
just making sure. I might have missed that.
So minutes will show that Councillor Fraze is leaving this next hearing due to a perceived conflict. Jody, then, if you would introduce the combined public hearing for conditional use application number CU 2026-005, -006, -007, -008, and 009.
Indeed. So, in all of the cases here, we're talking of only the difference is different lands. So for each of these applications, the request in the application is to allow crop productions to continue. Crop production is a conditional use in the commercial general zone. And so therefore, to be in compliance, these different applications were submitted. And like I said, the only difference in each application is the description of the lands, which you all have maps
Yes, we
there
do.
attached as well. And there's also a report to council that is attached. And should council choose to approve this conditional use, we do have some conditions that are prudent for council to include in the wording of the condition. Just because if there were, for example, a change of ownership of those lands, generally speaking, conditional uses then run with the land. And in this case, staff believe it would be prudent if there was a change of ownership for the new owner to have to apply and give residents and council a chance to review. And we've also included the ability for council to review the conditional use should significant concerns in the community arise, whether they be likely they would be related to nuisance concerns, but that would give council an opportunity to review at that time.
Okay, thank you very much, Jody. Is there anybody in chambers who wishes to speak to this application? Potentially to answer questions if need be. Is there anybody here wishing to speak in opposition? We don't have people in chambers, so I suspect not. Jody, you've heard nothing communicated to the city otherwise?
No concerns.
Thank you. Council, any thoughts or questions? The proponent is in chambers if we have questions.
The only question I would have is, we had a concerned citizen due to some things in his garden he thought had been hit by some chemicals. What if anything can be done or has been done to satisfy that concern?
I'll ask our proponent to come to the microphone, state his name, and then respond.
That is not in this area,
Oh, it's not?
no,
Oh, okay.
no, that's on the H3
So John Fraze is in chambers, and his question to your question was that it was not on
Okay.
these areas.
Okay.
Yeah, and the other.
John, I'll ask if you're going to speak, for you to come to the microphone, please.
I've got a question for you anyway, so you might as well get up there.
Going back to A341, it would not have been from what he sprayed because he had some weeds on the edge here that hadn't died, and he had all his GPS from what the wind direction was that he sprayed. That the evidence was there if you want to see it.
Oh, okay, so it wasn't from what happened on the farming side of it?
Not according to the guys at the farm.
Okay.
Have you read the conditional use, like what it says in here?
I
Like-
did, but I don't, not
Okay.
today.
Like I'm just wondering, like to me, it says the development agreement shall include terms authorize the city at any time if concerns arise to require buffering, landscaping, maintenance responsibility, blah, 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 blah. Like to me, so if we have one citizen say, you're combining, I don't like the dust, then the way I read it kind of says, well, then the city can require you to whatever, leave your last swath or something, or depending on the wind, like we lived in Springfield and, half a mile away, wherever's combining, and we're getting dust in our backyard, that's just living on the outskirts of town. Like to me, it seems a little strong wording.
And the way I would have understood Jody's explanation initially, it allows council to revisit it if concerns
Absolutely.
arise.
Okay,
So this,
It's your conditional use approval.
thank you. It would come back to this table of conditions if
Okay.
concerns arise.
okay.
My
It would have to
comment-
be a legitimate concern.
Yeah, because they're combining and you got a perfect day to combine and it's blowing towards the city, like that's.
Well, the lands are
that's
in the
far.
city, not towards the city.
Okay,
but-
sorry, it's in the
yeah.
city.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And to that point again, if those concerns are brought forward to staff would bring them to council. If council views those to be of great enough concern, it would show up back at this table, and then we would have to change the condition.
Okay, because as long as we're not restricting so much where they can't do anything, because that's like.
Agreed.
Like we want to, yeah, because we got to, yeah. Other than that, it goes to weeds or whatever, but yeah, okay, no, that's fine, as long as.
Yeah, my question would have been, why does it have to take a variation like this anyway? Why is it put in place if it's agricultural land and being looked after? But I guess it is what it is. Those are
Once the
policies are-
agricultural
It's,
lands are within city limits, then
Yes. Yeah.
it's good planning to make sure that we create as safe and comfortable and healthy a community as possible. And definitely the opportunity still to have a consideration of it farming is why we're here today. I get the feeling that council is generally supportive, which I believe is the right thing to do in this situation. I really appreciate Jody's clarity on that, in terms of if there is a concern, it shows up here, and then we have to address it. So it's not that somebody could come with a malicious thought that I
Yeah.
can shut this down,
Yeah,
that it
that's
would
good.
shut down.
Is this question, is this good for 2 years or how long is this good for?
The way we've written it is that council would review it every 2 years,
Okay.
to see if there's been changes that would cause them to reconsider the approval. But yeah, and that's actually one of the reasons that there is a review period, because technically speaking, conditional uses are, they don't have an expiration.
Right.
And so the concern from staff was, again, if it ran with the land and there was no, like if it was just granted without conditions and it ran with the land and there's new owners, meanwhile, other areas have been developed close around it. And it's this little postage stamp now surrounded by dense residential, council would have no way to adjust it.
So,
And in this instance, so John, to answer your question, it's not a 2-year term. it would
That's
be
right.
reviewed in 2 years, but you don't have to put a new application
That's right.
in
Yep.
2 years.
Correct.
So then another question is, we also do farm Arnold Cool's land right next to one of these pieces.
Mhm.
Now, does that also need a variation applied for, or?
I defer to Stephanie on the zoning on that offhand. I don't know the zoning. These are commercial general zones, I believe, and that's why we updated our zoning bylaw just recently to even allow this as a conditional use because it actually wasn't permitted at all in our zoning bylaw. So council just recently made it so that you could continue. I would defer to, I'll have to defer to Stephanie on that one.
Okay, it's just thought that it,
Yep,
that needed to be done to a non.
okay, fair enough.
We can certainly get you that answer, John.
Thanks,
Any-
John.
Any additional questions?
Nope.
Not seeing any?
Yes, I have a comment if possible.
Please.
Yeah, I'm happy that staff and the proponent have worked together on this. We all know the cost of development, and we have here a long-term developer who has, in my opinion, no intention of keeping on farming that for perpetuity. But it would just help. Otherwise, he'd have to cut the grass or something like that. And so I think it just helps keep costs down and make it a viable situation for him. So I think it's a good way of dealing with this.
Excellent. Thank you, Marvin. Not seeing anything further. Be it resolved that we close this public hearing for applications number CU 2026-005, -006, -007, -008, and -009. Mover.
Ryan.
Second.
Michael?
Final thoughts? All in favor?
Yay.
Carried.
Mayor, could I make a quick interjection?
I wish you could.
I would just advise that, in my opinion, I think it's unnecessary for you to read all of the verbiage for each of these resolutions.
Thank you.
If you do the main, be it resolved, read the first one the first time, I think we'd be just fine.
Excellent.
Thank you, Jody.
Might be here now.
We have a number of them, so be it resolved that conditional use application number CU 2026-005 be approved, subject to an applicant entering into a development agreement with the city of Winkler in a form satisfactory to the city of Winkler. Mover.
Here,
Marvin.
Second. Peter got the move, Marvin got the second. All in favor?
Yay.
Carried. Be it resolved that conditional use application number CU 2026-006 be approved, similar to the conditions entered into the first one. Mover.
Don.
Second.
Ryan.
All in favor?
Yay.
Carried. Be it resolved that conditional use application number CU 2026-007 be approved. Mover.
Marvin.
Second.
Michael?
All in favor?
Yay.
Carried. Be it resolved that conditional use application number CU 2026-008 be approved.
Ryan.
Second.
Don.
Don, thank you. All in favor?
Yay.
Carried. Be it resolved that conditional use application number CU 2026-009 be approved.
Peter.
Second.
Ryan.
All in favor?
Yay.
Carried. Let's invite Andrew back to join our meeting. Be it resolved that public hearings be adjourned and regular council reconvene. Mover.
Michael?
Second.
Don.
Ryan.
Ryan got it. All in favor?
Yay.
That is carried. Welcome back, Andrew. We have no additions. We have no other business. Takes us to questions from media or public relevant to this meeting of council. Not seeing anything there either. Andrew, be it resolved that this regular council meeting be adjourned.
Andrew.
Second.
Peter.
There we go. We're done.